Good morning. I'm in a supremely bitter mood, and I'm not going to get into it because I've had to redo this tape about a dozen times because I get off on these rants about how much I hate being in Omaha, Nebraska. But thankfully, the NFL draft is here, and we're going to talk about the Chargers. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is faithful Angelenos. Man, I hate Nebraska. It is April 28th, and the NFL draft is going to start tonight at 5 p.m. We're going to build a case why the Chargers might actually become aggressive one more time after being aggressive all throughout free agency. But before we do, I want to thank the new subscriber who joined in. Appreciate you getting in on the ground floor. If you like the content we put out for the last couple of months, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that, because we put out a video between 9 and 10 a.m. every single day. It'll let you know it's there. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, 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 comment. For I am not God. I do not know everything. Let's go to the scoreboard and some of the local notes. The Dodgers, they're on a 2-game losing streak. Trust me, ESPN is going to create an apocalyptic case of doom over the Dodgers. All they did yesterday was lose to Arizona 3-1. Meanwhile, last night also the Kings, who had already qualified for the Stanley Cup playoffs, they went out, they took care of business anyway. They beat the Seattle Kraken 5-3. Meanwhile, tonight they're going to finish the regular season. They play Vancouver, and again they gear up for the playoffs. They're going to face Edmonton in the first round. Here's a Kings note for you. Literally like a half an hour after they officially qualified, there was a press release. Rob Blake has extended his contract to remain GM with the team. Timing is everything in this world, don't you think? It's a pretty good time to ask for a raise. We mentioned about the draft being tonight. There is a potential surprise, but trust me, there's a lot of disinformation that's going on. So what I'm about to say, you should take it with a 50-pound block of salt. I don't believe it necessarily, but who knows? There may be a potential surprise. Adam Schefter is reporting that agent Drew Rosenhaus claims multiple teams want USC's Drake Jackson in the first round. Now, all week long, we've been previewing the NFL draft. We did UCLA's prospects on Monday, USC's on Tuesday. We did talk about Drake Jackson. Go ahead and look. We like him. He could play an outside linebacker in a 3-4 or a defensive end in a 4-3. Very versatile. There is the possibility. But here's my problem with it. This story is from an agent. Okay? And if we know anything at all about agents, is that they leave a trail of ectoplasmic slime wherever they walk. Okay? They are that dirty. Mr. Rosenhaus, I respect you. I like the fact that you're advocating aggressively for your client. Let's just say I'll believe it when I see it, okay? One final cute little note about USC football. There was a dopey little pissing match on Twitter between Matt Leinart and Danny Kanell. Nothing like two failed quarterbacks going at it on Twitter, don't you think? Wouldn't it be fun? I can't wait to see Ryan Leaf taking on Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, I can wait on that. Kanell was basically talking crap about the number of people who went to USC's spring game, right? Like there was 34,000. And then to make his case, he showed a picture of a packed house at Oklahoma. And Leinart, he tries to downplay it, but Kanell just wouldn't shut up. And then Leinart finally goes, that was more people than when I played there. And we turned out just fine. We did pretty well. And then he blew Danny Kanell a kiss. And the only reason that one man blows another man a kiss is basically a way to say STFU. That's all I'm going to say about Danny Kanell. Of course I'm lying. I've got more to say. Look, I've been to Norman, Oklahoma, boy. Which, by the way, is a key phrase when you live in Oklahoma. Everybody calls it boy in Oklahoma. But I'm here to tell you, you know why football is so popular in Norman, Oklahoma? Because I can tell you why. If you want fun, you either go see OU or go to Walmart. That's it. There's no clubbing, there's no dancing, there's no music, there's nothing but OU and Walmart. That's it. Let me tell you guys something about Oklahoma, if you're out in that area, okay? Our malls, ours, sell nice clothes to make our women look even prettier. Your malls sell overalls and tornado shelters. That's it. I've seen it. I know it. Stop lying to yourselves. You're not that great a place. You're just another spot on the planet. That's it. Until you upgrade what you have in that state from Walmart, dungarees, and tornado shelters, I don't want to hear squat. We have lives out in California. Trust me. Because the fact that I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, I could use some lifestyle right about now. But let's talk about the Chargers. Okay, so they're coming in today. They have 10 picks, 1 in the first round, 1 in the third, 4th, 5th. They have 2 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th. The needs that I've been looking at for all of the previews talk about how this is all about insurance policies for the Chargers, right? Things such as, they need depth at edge rusher. They need depth at secondary. They could use a backup running back. Backup, depth, even at wide receiver, okay? But you shouldn't really go for depth when you're in the first round. You should go for a starter. So what holes do the Chargers have that would require a starter? Right guard and right tackle, the right side of the offensive line. Now, don't get me wrong, I can see why you would want depth at edge rusher. Khalil Mack only played 7 games last year. He might get hurt again. And when Joey Bosa got hurt for you guys a couple of years before, that just killed your season right then and there. But I think that's still a bit of a reach. And I can even understand depth at secondary, because you're probably going to take either J.C. Jackson or Asante Samuel, and have them play the same role that Jalen Ramsey plays for the Rams, the so-called star position. And if you do that, you could theoretically taking a risk, exposing one half of the field. So I get that. And of course, I could also see trying to get a backup running back because, Austin Eckler's legs are eventually going to tire at some point during the game. But if it were me, I would look at the offensive line, okay? Because that right side is the Achilles heel of the Chargers. Now, they like Matt Feller, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He can play either guard or tackle. So let's say a tackle falls to the Chargers at 17. Well, then you snap him up, wouldn't you? Here's the problem. The top 3 offensive tackles out there should be gone in the top 10 picks. And then you're looking at the number 4, Trevor Penning of Northern Iowa. He might not be around either. So you're going to be sweating bullets at number 17. If somebody sits there and goes, yeah, we need to protect our quarterback. And you should kind of like Penning's options as an option. He's nasty. He's a hard worker. And just like Feeler, you could slide him into the guard. If one is better at tackle and one is better at guard, you go on with your life. You take it that way. But after that, you're talking about a good drop-off in talent for the right side of the offensive line. You're looking at Sean Ryan of UCLA in round 3. That's kind of a drop. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, I could also see arguing, okay, fine, maybe you go with cornerback. You have Trent McDuffie of Washington State, I believe, and the Chargers will play a lot of zone defense. And he is an ideal fit for zone defense. But if I'm the Chargers, I don't reach for an offensive lineman. I don't reach for, look, I'm not gonna have a problem with these guys, but I don't think I sit there and at number 17, I don't think I reach for a Zion Johnson of Boston College. I don't think I reach for Kenyon Green of Texas A&M or Tyler Smith of Tulsa, who's only a sophomore, by the way. I'm asking myself if I could produce a package of draft picks and move up 3 or 4 spots. Think about that. Because if you think about it, you have all of these late picks. How many plus your own first rounder moves you up just enough? Would it be your 4th round pick? Your 5th? It's a possibility. I would explore it, because if you can shore up the right side of the offensive line with an immediate starter, you could do some real damage, because the AFC West right now is the toughest division in football. Imagine all of that work that you guys did in free agency blown away because all the other teams in the AFC West are strong too. I wouldn't take any chances. I'd roll the dice one last time and move up in the draft. Now, let's assume for the moment that they don't, and they stay at 17, and Penning doesn't fall, then you go with McDuffie. I can appreciate that. There is a couple of mock drafts that suggest that they go for Jordan Davis of Georgia at defensive tackle at 17. I don't think he's going to be there, so I don't buy that a whole heck of a lot. But having said that, if you do want an interior defensive lineman, the type of people who would back up Sebastian Joseph Day, those are where you go for the late rounds. For example, I keep mispronouncing the guy's name. Otito Ogbonnia, a defensive tackle from UCLA. We previewed him earlier this week, right? What we said earlier this week was he was the type of guy who doesn't make the big play. What he does is he lines up at nose tackle and he takes out 2 or 3 blockers all on his own because he's so big and skilled. And what that does is it lets the linebackers make the plays. So, because you obviously have holes for the linebackers to exploit. So what do you say about drafting Otito Ogbonnia, having him go in to spell Sebastian Joseph Day? And because he takes on so many people, that opens up a lane for either Mack or Bosa to make the hit. Can you see that? I can. We were also talking earlier about backup running backs. Here's a suggestion. Keontae Ingram of USC. He's looked at as a potential steal in the draft. And the Chargers have what? They have their 5th round pick. They also have 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. I think Ingram's going to be available. So the Chargers, honestly, they're in a really good position. And again, I do believe that they're in a position to actually move up in the draft. The other pundits, they're saying the Chargers will move down. I don't think that helps them at all. But what do you think? Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, like, subscribe, comment. After all, to be frank, I'm a Rams fan, but I try to call things straight down the middle. The Chargers have a good shot at being a really good team this year, obviously. But does that make them a Super Bowl contender? I think it does if they shore up the offensive line. Thanks for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.